I just want to check in with you guys, how you're feeling. I think we've all seen so many clips and reels and news stories, but like Eric, you were saying that this is hitting you. How are you feeling, mate?
Yeah, I am quite emotional, to be honest with you. Like the whole Charlie Kirk thing hit me, but this hit me a lot more. And I'm and I just think like when you're targeting like in the Charlie Kirk thing, one person, it's that one person. And here was just, you know, they were targeting multiple people, and you can see that they were targeting the Jewish people. And from the videos I was watching, they were waving other people away, right? That to them obviously weren't part of that community. And then just to see people being picked off. I got sent a few videos from a mate, which I'm sure you guys have, right? Some of those kind of underground videos that aren't being shown on the news and stuff. And yeah, it's hard to comprehend and put in words, and it's been taking a lot of headspace for me. Um, because I've been watching it and looking at it and just seeing, the devastation um that has occurred. And then you see, that hero, Ahmad Al Ahmad, tackle the guy and get shot multiple times. Like the headspace you would need to be in at that point in time to go, you know what? I'm going to risk my life for others that you don't even know, and you don't even know what's going on. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in right now, to be honest.
Mm.
It's a lot to take in.
Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, I mean, for nostalgic reasons, in one respect, like from that footbridge, I lived for 10 years, 50 meters from there, and know that territory like the back of my hand. I used to walk under that bridge every single day. So it's just like, holy shit, not at our Bondi. That doesn't happen here. It was a proper shock. And then, as Eric said, seeing some footage from directly across the road on Campbell Parade, and I know the apartment block it came from. I'm not too sure how public that footage is. I'm not willing to share it, but it was pretty harrowing to watch. Just what must be going through their mind. Anyway, it's just hard to unpack. See exactly what Eric said as well, of that guy deliberately shooing general public away, and being that narrowed into the Jewish community is pretty wild. So yeah, a bit of shock, really.
I mean, every part of it just makes you feel sick to your stomach. Like there's zero silver lining that can be found in any of it. And to Eric's point, it's like Charlie Kirk, but also other shootings that happen in other countries. We kind of think we obviously think it's terrible, but we think, oh, that's not Australia, fortunately. And then you kind of twice now, Bondi has been the scene of these events with the shopping center incident, and now this, and I look at it and I just get so worried because of the trend. Like the trend is going in the wrong direction for this kind of violence, and it's a huge issue. It's just a huge issue, but first and foremost, like we're 10 days away from Christmas and holidays, and some innocent families that were just minding their own business, celebrating, were targeted. And I think there's no place ever for innocent people to be targeted. No matter what's going on in the world, there's just no place for innocent people to be targeted anywhere.
It's sad when you have your wife and two daughters yesterday go to the shopping center to pick up a few things, and on the back of your mind, you're thinking, hopefully they come home.
No,
Like that's the reality. Like no one thought, like I had a message from someone close to you, Adam, saying that they were there yesterday. They were actually 2 days ago. They were actually there. And she said it was the scariest thing.
And it just changes the whole fabric of the of community as well. Like I know from that Bondi Junction stabbing. I have good friends that live in Bondi Junction. The lady that was actually murdered was a wife of a mate of mine. And it just changed the whole dynamic of shopping in Bondi Junction, which used to be a family place, as you mentioned, Eric, forever. Now that she gets full time, the security gets beefed up. It just doesn't go back to how it was because the time lapse. It keeps up. To what point then does it sort of roll over into?
How about you, Adam?
Mate, I've gone through such a gamut of emotions in the last 48 hours, from like outrage to just sadness. And I think it's particularly difficult now because I remember when 9/11 happened, right? And for months afterwards, you'd see planes flying in the sky and you'd see buildings and you couldn't get the image out of your mind. And you go, is that plane going to go over the city or is it going to go into the city? And it's just such an illogical thing. But it, again, like all terrorist acts, they target the most iconic, the most memorable, like Mark said. And now they're targeting whoever it is. And that's a whole nother thing. But they're targeting iconic Australian landmarks, our Harbour Bridge, our Opera House, our, Bondi Beach and these things. But I've gone through a whole gamut of emotions, but I think the layer that's really messing with my head as opposed to 9/11. Back in 9/11, I mean, this is, by the way, what terrorism is. It's designed to put fear and doubt and create terror and nervousness inside of all of us. So to that end, it's definitely doing that. But I think what's changed so much now is that we have social media and we don't know what to believe. And that is really fucking with me, especially now that I've got a social media platform myself. I posted something yesterday, which I pulled down afterwards. I posted two things actually, which were up briefly and I pulled them down afterwards because I thought, man, there are certain aspects of this that I don't know actually what to believe anymore of what I'm seeing, Now, of course, I'm not doubting people were shot and injured and hurt, but there's just parts of it that just don't feel quite right on both sides that I just can't reconcile. And my gut feeling is that there's some really, really bad people out there. And I'm not just talking about the gunmen. I'm talking about there's other stuff going on. But so I'm finding it really, really hard to reconcile. And I think also it's really interesting reflecting on the fact that here we are, and not to minimize what's going on, but we see 15 deaths. Imagine how our forefathers who were at war, like imagine processing bombs being dropped and hundreds and thousands of people being killed a day. And it just is such in one way, a bit of a reminder of how generally the world has been quite peaceful. And then we see something like this on our shores and how shocked we are when it comes home to Australia. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just processing a lot of things at the moment, and I've gone through a lot of emotion around it. And social media is not. Yeah, I'm really struggling with I don't feel good in my mind, having consumed as much as I have over the last couple of days, watching this and trying to form a view for this podcast. I'm left a bit feeling not great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like do we even want to talk about those things today, or just leave them for another day?
Yeah.
Some of the things that I find just incredible is that ASIO, which is Australia's version of FBI, was looking into this guy 6 years ago.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still here.
Well, he's Australian citizen. He was born here. The actual young guy
Oh,
was
wow.
born in Australia. His
Okay.
dad came out here in 1998 on a student visa for the other gunman, the father, and then he converted to a longer-term visa and so on. But the boy was actually born in Australia. He's an Australian citizen that
I
actually
mean,
did this. So he's not, in the
wow.
customary sense of the word, an immigrant. He was born here, and obviously radicalized. If that's the narrative, that's the truth. I just don't know what to believe.
What's
That
crazy
makes it
about what
even
you
more
just
scary. That makes it even more scary that there's people that were born in this country that have grown up with the values and culture of this country, you could say. I mean, who knows what they practice at home, but that they would still do something like this.
Mm.
That it's a hard pill to swallow.
And I think I
Because
dropped a link in there. It was not just Australia. It's in Australia, but it wasn't just Australia. There's a Hanukkah in Amsterdam as well. That similar sort of attack has taken place. So yeah, I understand it doesn't happen to us, but it certainly has.
or it's happening right now
Australia.
in Toronto. My mom, I talked to her this morning, and they're doing a candlelight vigil for the Jewish community, and they're already on very, very high alert there. And again, it's just like what you said, Adam. This is exactly what terrorism is, right? Trying to put the fear of God into you. But like when you hear things like on news.com, Tony Burke, there was an article that came out. He's the Home Affairs Minister, saying that things like our intelligence agencies can only work with what they have and work with what they know. They will never be all seeing or all knowing. So basically, like, you'll never be able to capture or see all of these things happening, right? And that's what I think he's going by. Like when you look at that, because people are saying 6 years ago he was on the list, right? There was the young guy that was on the list, not the dad. But then the dad's got six licensed firearms, living in the same house with a person that was, not involved, but well, I guess some type of involvement in an Islamic State cell is what they were saying. Like this it does not make sense to me. How it's just like we investigated him for 6 months, didn't see anything, and then it's like all is good. Like, would you not have the finger on the pulse a little bit, just ongoing, right?
this
I don't know.
the same thing happened in 9/11, Eric. Or like a lot of the 9/11 hijacking pilots
Mm.
were actually flagged like a year prior to 9/11 and allowed to come from other countries into the US. And this is I agree with you, Adam. This is the hardest thing for me is not knowing what to believe. That I feel like there's so many levels of evil that we just don't know about, and that's why I've kind of never liked the Gaza debate. I've never liked all those things because there's just so many levels and years of history to the things that are going on, and it's like, and there's so much conspiracy that goes on on the internet as well, and you
Yeah.
literally don't know what to believe, and you're not just terrified of the terrorism, you're terrified about what to believe.
And what you're going to post and share. Like I'll talk about this at a high level. Like I said I wasn't going to mention this on the pod, but I will because I think it's an interesting reflection. Like the stuff I put up, you could broadly say was pro-Jewish, right? Like obviously I have been anti extreme Muslim, right? Not anti-Muslim and not extreme Muslim Islam, right? Anti-extreme Islamist ideas. I have been not anti-Muslim, anti-extremist